Well, one thing I haven't got the official total yet, but I'm pretty good at judging things. I want to mention this. It's obvious that we've got record attendance today. Yes. And it has been a long road since COVID, trust you me. You know, when COVID first hit, we had a lot of people, not a lot, but a couple of people who came and told us that we would never open up again, that we would just close down. Yes. Yes. The person who donated the piano to us, they wanted it back because they said, you'll never use it again. Well, we have used it. Even on Sundays when we were meeting out in the parking lot in the middle of summer, when it was so hot the asphalt would stick to your shoes. We kept going because the board and I, we made a determination we weren't going to close. We were going to carry on and we were going to get better. And today is that proof that we can get better. So let me tell you this, keep this in your mind, regardless of what anything in the world is telling you. Doesn't matter if it's the bank, it doesn't matter if it's your boss, it doesn't matter if it's your family, that's a tricky one. It doesn't matter if it's the doctor. You are the one that can say, I'm carrying on, I'm getting better, and I've got the power of God with me, flowing through me, and I am rising up to meet a new day. We're proof that you can do it, so go out and make the miracle happen in your life. You can do it. And especially if you keep showing up here, we'll convince you of it. So, thank you. So I'm carrying on with a series of talks for the first 4 chapters of the Science of Mind textbook. And today's entitled The Power Within. Dr. Holmes, the founder of our teaching, in this chapter, he stated, and I think this is really a very honest thing that he did, he said this wasn't a special revelation to him. That this wasn't that he didn't just get, that God just didn't speak to him. This was a revelation because he had studied many religious teachings, and what he did is he had absorbed the wisdom from all of those, and he then came up with the idea of science of mind. And he urged us to prove this for ourselves. He said, do not take this on our word alone. Prove it to yourself. Come to an understanding of it for yourself. The heart of our teaching is a recognition that there is this universal mind, an intelligence, the origin of everything, first cause, God. Now, some people don't like the term God. Even when Dr. Holmes was teaching, he said that he had a man come to him one time and said, I really like what you say, but I don't like that you use this term God. And Dr. Holmes looked at him for a little bit and said, well, why don't you just call it potato? Call it anything you feel comfortable with, but use it. Don't let that barrier hold you back. I like the term spirit or consciousness or life itself. Life itself. That's what we are in, what is flowing through us. Our thoughts and our emotions, whether conscious or unconscious, tap into the original creative force that underlines everything in existence and reflect back to us as our lives. Our experiences demonstrate what we believe to be true about life. You don't get what you hope for. You don't get what you even pray for. You get what you believe is true about your life. If you believe that life is tough and hard, well, life can easily produce that for you. But if you believe that life works out for you and prepares a way for you, well, then you can get that too. I had a wonderful friend, well, he's still in my life. He had gotten to a crossroad of his life. One career had ended. He needed to get into another career. He was really at a tough junction. And the career that he wanted to get into was to do wedding flowers. And he had found out that there was a convention of wedding planners in Atlanta, and he wanted to go there and have a booth, and so he could get introduced to all these wedding planners. He showed up early that morning to set his booth up. He looked in his rearview mirror, and he noticed that behind him there was this large Cadillac, 2 older people, and they were struggling to get supplies out of the trunk. He parked his car, and he went over and he helped them. He helped them get their supplies out. He helped them get to their booth. He helped them set up. Now, as it turned out, the person he helped was the president of this organization. And she went around to all her big sponsors, and she told them, I've met this wonderful young man. I want you to go by his booth, and I want you to help him out in any way you can. It wasn't a month or so later that John was doing the wedding for the daughter of the owner of Home Depot. Yeah. Now, here's the thing, how he spotted that opportunity. He was open and receptive to it. If it had been me, I would have been so worried about my booth, about not missing this opportunity, of making sure that I had all my supplies in line, I would not have noticed the struggling elderly couple behind me. I would have focused on what I had to do. He did not. He kept his heart and eyes open, and life supplied him in a much easier way than he envisioned. And that's what we want to do. We want you to stay open to the opportunities coming to you. And it first comes with you realize for yourself that you're deserving of God's love. You're deserving of God's support. You're deserving of every great opportunity. God is in love with you, enraptured by you. Have you ever been around a little a couple who've just had a baby and the baby begins to walk? What do? They stare in amazement of the child taking its step. It's a wonder to them. Do you not know this is Spirit's reaction to you? This is Spirit's reaction to you. Even though you've had your heart broken, you're willing to try to love again. Even though you've had mistakes, you're willing to try another opportunity. Spirit is enraptured of your courage and your willingness to get out and try to make a life for yourself. And it's there to help and support you. Rumi says, don't be satisfied with stories of how things have gone for others. Unfold your own truth, your own myth. Seek a spirit that resonates with your inner truth. Let go of all the doctrines that limit your understanding. For a God that condemns is not one that aligns with the essence of love. And I don't mean to insult anybody, but a creator who would create its children and then judge them so that they could fry like a piece of bacon on a hot griddle for eternity is not a God of love. It's not a God of love. Just because you did something in Mama's Chevy behind the school gym. No. We all make mistakes. And that was a big mistake, by the way. That's not a God I can understand. It's not a God that's going to help me. It's a God that's going to keep me terrified. It's a God that will keep me worried. And then that will outpicture all kind of anger and turmoil. And you want a demonstration of that? Just turn on your news. Just listen to what some of these politicians are saying. That's where that goes. That's the fruit of that tree. As we raise our standards for ourselves, as we deepen the spiritual awareness, our concepts about spirit evolve. You see, there was a time when the Old Testament was written, the nation of Israel needed a warrior God. And so when they were instructed to take over Jericho, they were told to kill everyone there, even the infants. That was the level of their understanding. We have evolved beyond that, and that behavior no longer seems justified to us. So our thoughts of spirit has to evolve as well. You want to get a better understanding about a God, you have to get a better understanding about yourself. It's a journey of interpretation where spirit reveals itself through the human spirit, requiring our openness and receptivity. For spirit to reveal itself to us, it has to reveal itself through us. through our lives, through our experiences. And for that to happen, we've got to raise our concept of ourselves and our Creator, to know we're deserving of this love. We're deserving of this support. And that our dreams and hopes, that they've come from Spirit itself, and that they are here to be manifest. They are here to breathe the breath of life. And through you, you are needed, you are necessary. And until you step up and bring your dreams to life, evolution will not be complete. The creation will not be complete. So step up to your dreams. Spirit is this universal energy leading us towards our freedom. Freedom and more freedom, as Dr. Holmes says. And this freedom cannot be imposed. We have to accept it. Dr. Holmes says the force that appears to bind us is the very force that holds the key to our freedom. Our suffering is not imposed upon us, but it arises from our mistaken ideas about ourselves, about life, about spirit. Thich Nhat Hanh says, we understand that true freedom comes from within. Freedom is not given to us by anyone. We have to cultivate it ourselves. The force that seems to bind us is an illusion shattered by our awareness of our birthright. There used to be a bumper sticker that I really loved. I don't see it very much anymore. And the bumper sticker said, Jesus loves you, but I'm his favorite. Yeah. And that's kind of the right attitude. To think, yeah, I'm a child of God. I'm here on assignment. I am here on mission to live and to do the best I can to make a joyful noise unto the Lord, to bring about God's love made manifest. I'm here to make the world a better place from my having been in it. That's what we can do. Dr. Holmes says the Spirit is impersonal, but it responds to us in a personal way. How does it respond? Through our hopes and dreams and loves and passion, operating through us and for us. But its power becomes tangible only when we recognize it as such. We're constantly telling ourselves that it does not work. It works for us by not working. It proves our beliefs by not working for us. So we want to get a better belief about ourselves, better belief about what we're doing and how we can demonstrate Spirit's loves. Our thoughts and purpose and beliefs create a tendency in the universe to respond to us accordingly. It's this dance of creation, of our acceptance and obedience to the laws of nature. This is how our lives unfold. We're thinking, willing, conscious centers of life, immersed in a creative force that flows through us. And this ignorance of the law that governs our existence does not excuse us from our effect. It will not do for us what we can do for ourselves. Spirit will not impose your blessings upon you. You have to be willing to accept them, to be willing to own up to them, to glory into them, and to bless them. It can do anything for us. It can solve all our problems, but it knows in doing so, it would keep us weak and bound. It's like a baby chick and the egg. You're watching the baby chick trying to pick its way out of the egg, and what is the tendency to do? You want to help it. But if you've gone through this experience before, you know you can't help the chick has to struggle on its own to get out of that egg, so it will be strong enough to go through the other challenges of life. This is how Spirit is with us. It allows us to face the challenges so that we become strong enough, so we know we are in co-partnership with it. This is the whole point of the journey. Is to know we are co-creators with Spirit, and we're here to achieve and do wondrous great good. Our belief shape our reality, And the universe responds to the totalness of our thoughts. Now, habitual thoughts have some power, but deliberate thoughts have great power. And you don't have to own up to every thought you have. You know, sometimes I hear my mom in my consciousness clear as a bell. A lot of times it's not very nice. And when I hear those thoughts, I just let them slide by. Don't give them energy. This is the key. Don't give them energy. Just let them slide by. When you have a thought that's healing, loving, and supportive, that's the thought you want to give energy to them. And when you do that, when you're recognizing your thoughts, you're making adjustments to your thoughts, you're owning some, you're letting others slide by, this is a place of great power. You've stepped into your power. And this is when you can do a lot of good. You can make demonstrations and manifestations. The extent of what we are able to create in our lives is linked to how we genuinely believe we're in this partnership with Spirit. And here's, I think, an important aspect of this. If you can't believe it for yourself, then believe it for others. Believe it for others. And this is the reason why praying for others is so powerful. As you see the good for others, you will more easily be able to accept it for yourself. This is, when we pray for others, sometimes we can more easily see the good for them than we can for ourselves. But if you keep on that path and you see the good unfolding for them, eventually you will know that this same power it can work for us. Our receptivity to this universal love determines what we experience in our life. If we say we're only deserving of a little good, that's what we'll have. If we say we're deserving of great good, Spirit opens up a banquet before us. Spirit wants us to live joyfully in compassion and kindness, to see the wonders of life and to know it for ourselves, to know ourselves as God knows us. And Spirit knows you as wonderful, amazing, here to do great and wonderful things. The idea of our experience of good and evil stem from perceiving duality rather than recognizing unity, that we're one with Spirit. And embracing the truth that there's no greater small to the soul that created us, opens us up to a greater understanding of the infinite possibilities available to us. In Christian texts, it says, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, whatever is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Think about such things. But what do most of us do? I'm guilty of this too. You wake up in the morning, you turn the news on. Have you ever turned the news on and they tell you, oh, everything is wonderful in life? Things are working out? You're going to have a great day? No. But this is what we want to think on. This is what we want to dwell on. Now, don't keep yourself in ignorance. Yeah, you want to listen to the news. You want to know what's going on in the world. They said Raymond Charles Barker, he was a big, huge teacher in our movement. They said he would get the New York Times. He would read it from front to back. And then he would fold it down and he would slap the newspaper and said, there's not a damn word of truth in it. There's not a word of truth in it. And that's what you want to do. Stay informed, but say, I know the truth about myself. And we can unlock this power within us. And our thoughts can be rooted in truth and purity that aligns with the universe and with Spirit. Our journey is a recognition we're one with God. We're conduits for its love and its creativity in the physical. We're here to do amazing and wonderful work. And through a recognition and acceptance and conscious creation, we can unlock the power of the universe, bringing an abundance of good and love and kindness. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. Be it. And our journey is waking up a realization that within us that we have the power to shape reality through our recognition, through our acceptance, and our conscious evolution. So proclaim the goodness of Spirit right where you are. And if you can't see it for yourself, see it for others And if you can't see it for others, then become it. Become it. We look for God's miracle. Why don't we become God's miracle? Why don't we become the love we're seeking? Why don't we become the abundance we need? Why don't we become the joy and happiness? It's within every one of us because we are that powerful. We are that wonderful. We are here to proclaim the glory of God's new day right where we are. And we're able to do it. And now is the time. There's a breaking dawn, and that dawn is of a new world, a new earth of sisterhood and brotherhood, where the soldiers have laid down their weapons, where people are living in peace and harmony, and where children are raised with love and compassion. This is the world we might not have been born into, but this is the world we're going to create. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.